Hello, everyone, and welcome to Zest to Zen with me, Shel Marie, the podcast that will take you on a journey from the hustle to the harmony, fueling your passion whilst finding your peace. Today, it is a true honor to welcome someone whose heart-led mission speaks to the very future of our world. A woman who brings both deep compassion and powerful clarity to the space of parenting and emotional development. Francesca is a certified parenting and life coach, a devoted childminder, a mother whose work is grounded in empathy, respect, and a powerful belief that every child deserves to grow up feeling seen, heard, and deeply loved. Her approach to parenting is centered around conscious leadership, which I'm definitely excited to know more about, helping parents break free from generational cycles with awareness, intention, and love. She holds space for families to grow, not just in connection, but with each other and also within themselves. Today, we'll explore Francesca's personal journey, her powerful insights, and her unwavering devotion to raising empowered, emotionally aware children, more than children, leaders of the future, whilst honoring and supporting the parents who are so blessed to guide and support them. Welcome, 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 Francesca.
Hi, Shel Marie. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. Thank you for this beautiful occasion to talk about our journeys because I'm looking forward to share my journeys with you. So thank you for having me.
Beautiful. So just from your bio, more than just your vision and your mission, this is actually something that I believe, and I'd love to know your opinion, is just you. It's within you, and it's something that you feel so passionate about that you've wisely been able to create it into something that you can infuse into the world, which I think is beautiful.
Yes.
So with that in mind, parenting for conscious leadership, I would love to know more about that.
Yes. Well, you are a parent, you have the honor, you have been given the gift of being responsible for the survival and the well-being of another human being. So I think this is where every parent needs to start from a place of gratitude. For many parents, it's not for all mothers and not for all fathers. It's easy, even just physically and biologically, to become fathers and mothers, and maybe those are a bit more conscious about the preciousness of the journey of becoming parents. But then our society tells us that because you have a baby in your arms, you are a parent, and off you go. You do it, you know how to do it, it happens, and you go. But there is a lot that comes from inside, but there is also a lot of knowledge that we don't have around us anymore. We don't have grandparents who live with us anymore much, and we don't have small community who help us. So we're just told, and you go. And what I love to teach parents is that you are the expert of your child. You are the one who knows the most about your child. Adopted, your child, biological, you are the one who spends 24 hours with that creature. So you are the expert. Now, we need experts in certain circumstances. There are children who need an expert for certain problems, but you are the one, you are the parent. So my mission is to empower parents, to be empowered leaders, to believe in themselves, to trust themselves in order to be able to lead someone else. But you can lead someone else if you can lead yourself. So it's a journey that starts from inside, and then you can give it to someone else. If you don't have it for yourself, it's difficult to give it to someone else. And so we parent mainly for how we were parented, and mainly the reaction is either you do what was done with me because it was good, or I don't do what was done with me because it wasn't good. But that's not the way of going, because you are not your parent, your child is not who you were, the world is a different place. So yes, there are things that you can think that was good, I will use it again, that wasn't good, I won't use it, but that's not how we should start parenting. We should start parenting from ourselves and from how our child is, and start from that connection and lead from there.
Wow. Wow, where do I even start with all that you just expressed? The biggest takeaway I got from what you said was we need to get to the root, beyond the seed, to the actual root. Because, more than any judgment, any parenting, anything, you have to believe that you're worthy of that child. And you so beautifully said, often, and I don't know why it's making me feel really emotional, it's probably because of something recently in my own personal life with someone else. But as you so beautifully said, it's often, and this is not always the case, but it's often those people that haven't been able to conceive straight away, that have had to go through such a process, had other medical issues interfering with them potentially even being a mother, as well as other health concerns and complications. And so, I relate to you absolutely, that it's almost like that scenario of you can go in the sweet shop, but you're going to have to wait a long time to actually get the one you want. And it's almost like it's so heartbreaking, but you really then are like, I know that I deserve and I am worthy of that, and I'm going to go for it. And so that almost then, like what you said, you feel this is not mine, because nothing belongs to us, but I am worthy and I deserve of this, and I am going to pour so much into this child. And I know it can also go the opposite way of like it being so precious and then being like almost like you don't want to break or almost like saying yes when you shouldn't always be saying yes. So there's two ends of the scale. But what I really, really wanted to hone in on is maybe those, unplanned pregnancies, those very young mothers that maybe didn't have the guidance, didn't have the understanding, and something maybe that seemed like a little innocent exploration turned into something that's life-changing. And I think it's so important what you're doing, because it's not about you anymore. It's about this little personal people, sometimes it's more than one. And I just love all that you just mentioned. It's so important. And I 100% agree. It's easy for us to judge the parent, judge this. And another incredible point you mentioned as well, of knowing, I'm definitely not going to do that. But again, you are not the same parent with the same child. So actually, what you maybe experienced as maybe a sensitive soul, your child who maybe is a little bit more wild and confident might not need that. So it just goes back to what you just said: intention, consciousness, and just almost like the ground running. This is the situation I'm in right now, and let's do this. Let's go for it. So I love all that you mentioned. Thank you so much.
And when you were saying about young women, a work that I want to get into is to talk to young girls and young guys, because I think we don't talk enough about many important things in life, and one is becoming parents. It can't be something that happened because you are having fun. I mean, having fun is another thing. I don't want to get there, but becoming a parent is another thing.
Absolutely.
And no talk can prepare you for becoming a parent. There's no way that you go for a 1 year every evening, 1 hour class. You're not going to be ready. But we don't have the parents that tell us. We don't have the community that tells us. We don't see older sisters in our house with the children, so we don't see how it is to have And when someone tells you you won't sleep for 2 years, we go like, yes, mine will be different. And you don't know that your brain doesn't work the same anymore. I mean, it's not about not sleeping during the night. It's about everything else that goes around while you haven't slept during the night for 6 months if you are lucky and years if you are not.
Wow.
There is a lot that we should talk about. And another subject that I love listening to is becoming old. Is another thing that we don't talk about. And you just become old. It's like childhood and becoming old are two stages that are not useful for society. So children need to grow quickly, become productive, go to school, learn, and then go and do your thing so that you earn money and you give us money, and then you can't do that anymore. Okay, off you go. Sit on the sofa, watch TV, and maybe we give you some food because, okay, you need food, but okay, you are old. You're done. Society doesn't really, you are a cost for us. You're a cost when you're a child, and you're a cost when you become old. But that shouldn't be the thing. That really shouldn't be the thing. There is so much value in being children, and it goes so quickly. It goes so quickly, and it's made of so many simple things. The afternoon after schools, going for an ice cream while we focus on the holidays and the activities and all these extra things. But life is made of small things, and we should really cherish every ice cream, every dinner together at the table during the week when we are all tired and the children are whinging because they are tired of being to school. It's Thursday, but that's what is life, and we should really should enjoy it and laugh about it and cherish it as much as we can when we are small and when we are old too.
That's so beautiful. And once again, you just picked up on two really major, societal things of like even go back to my own experience of understanding the body and what can happen. I remember having, and it's no judgment, but I remember having a teacher, and I used to move schools a lot, so I can't blame the teacher, but that was not comfortable in speaking to younger people about this. So one, that's something that needs to be addressed. Just because you might be the teacher in charge of those children in that year group, actually, does the teacher need some support to talk about this, or do we need to bring in an external person? Because again, it's almost like already being sold as something dirty and something that we don't naturally talk about, and then either you go one way of thinking it's something like, oh, people are going to think that I'm disgusting if I want to know more about this, or I'm really curious about this now, but I'm going to use my mind that's not so well developed, not so mature, doesn't really understand everything, to now be like, well, I wonder what if. And then the what if, like you said, could unfortunately sometimes turn into a very big lesson in life that's learning straight on the spot. So there's that, and then obviously there's the parent who might, go to the library and read a book, or watch this, and then the child's watching something and is like, whoa. So I think that is one really major, massive thing you've addressed. And the age thing, absolutely. Like, yeah, it's almost like, not everybody, but yeah, like, hurry up, and then, why are you still here? What are you doing with your life? Get on with it. So, yeah, I hear you, and I very much can relate to all that you've expressed. So with that in mind, because obviously we want to really use this podcast and this platform to really think about ways right now for someone listening. What could people do right now? Because it's okay as speaking about things that maybe haven't changed yet or are in the process, but what can people actively, consciously do right now to just really start changing the way we see things?
Well, reading a couple of books about children development would help, because, for example, a fact that not many people know is that a child is a child till he's 23, 25 years old. That means that the brain becomes an adult brain when you are 23, 25. So till then you have a child. naturally develops, but is still a child. And the last part that develops is the prefrontal cortex, that is the part that deals with the decision making and planning. So when there is no much more impulsivity anymore, when you manage to control the impulsivity, so all the emotions are still a lot to be able to work with the emotion more than control the emotion. But we will go to the emotion because it's such a big, important chapter. And if you are a parent now, just remember one thing, that children sometimes listen to what you say, but they always look what you do, always. And that's the way they learn the most. So if you want your child not to raise your voice with you, you can't raise your voice to your child, because you do it to me, why shouldn't I do it to you? And then remember that you are everything for them. They have this knowledge, this instinct that they can't survive without you. And when they are small, it's a huge instinct. And it's true. It's true. If you leave a child of 2 months outside for 2 hours in the snow, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
So you are everything for them. You really are. From feeding them to talking to them. And talk to your child continuously. Just talk to your child when they are small. Just say what you're doing. Just okay. Now I put this plate here. Now no, we need to prepare dinner. Right? So I go in the fridge. Just talk it. Just talk it, because they will feel the tone of your voice first of all, and they will learn by listening to everyday things. And then, because you are a mirror for your child, the first thing you need to do is to root yourself. So go to the situations where you react with your child instead of acting to the situation, and ask yourself, why am I reacting? What is the thing that is triggering me? And you need to work on yourself. It's a work that can be done with coaching, but there could be also some need of psychotherapy, because the coaching goes ahead, is looking ahead and having a vision and a plan and moving towards that. But if you don't manage to do that, it's because there is something in the past that needs to be addressed. It could be a long work, could be not, but you need to be able to stand and be an anchor for your child. You need to be able to stay there, and your child, you need to be able to hold him in any situation, any wave that the sea and life bring for him. So you need to start from yourself and take it from there. Yes.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, that's incredible. And I really love that you mentioned about communication, because as we know, there was communication previously, but it was a lot more like because I said so. And then it was childlike wonder of constantly like, why do you ask why so much, and now it's almost like the opposite of now we're not even having the because I said so. It's kind of, and I'll be honest,
because you say so. Now it's because you say so.
Yeah.
You the other day a child came to childminder with the trousers of winter trousers and winter jacket, and mother she said this is what she wanted to wear this morning. Yeah, but there are 30 degrees outside. You are the one who is in charge, not your child.
Yeah.
So there is not anymore, as you are saying, it's a balance between what they want and what you know they need. So it's not giving them what they want. You need to give them what they need. And sometimes let them make mistakes because they learn from their mistakes. But you need to guide them. And I know sometimes it's frustrating and you're saying the same thing 20 times. But if you say the same thing 20 times and then you say, okay, you know what? Do what you want. I mean, just be out of my way. You want the third ice cream? Go in the fridge and have your third ice cream. You are teaching them that if they insist 20 times, then they get it.
Yeah.
So you are reinforcing the thing of ask me 20 times and then I'm so tired that I will say yes. So next time we will ask 20 times and you will be even more exhausted, and you are reinforcing it. If you say no 3 times, they learn is no. You need to be no because you already had 2 ice creams, or no because we are going for dinner. No, you're not having an ice. Just keep repeating it and then they stop it. They see there is no way of going anywhere else, and tell them why, or as you were saying, tell them why. No ice cream because I say so. No, because we are going for dinner, or no, because you already had one, no, because it's too cold today, whatever. Tell them why.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And one thing, even going back to education, which I learned from a very, very young time in my career, was black and white. Don't go into the grey.
Yes.
Because the moment you say, if you do that, I will ring your mum, and you don't follow through, oh yeah, it literally goes back to what you said. It's like, that was something I learned and honored straight away, because I think the moment they just know this, and they know this, and of course you will get the testing, and then they're like, okay, well, that's just how it is. That's how it is in this, and they feel safe. They're like, okay, no, because this, or there's this. That's it. Whereas when it's always like this, for us and them, everybody's emotions are always, are we, or not, or everyone's kind of bargaining, aren't they? Like, should we eat this today, or should we do this today? And of course, we're all human, like, we have our days, but generally consistency is key. And I'm trying to remember, there was something else that you said which was really powerful, and it's just literally gone out of my mind. That was it. Just because I think it's important to explore both ends of the scale and both polarities, and just have a really, really open-minded. So in the sense of, say, which I agree with you, no, an explanation, the weather, okay. And just as a parent, know that, this is me taking care of you. This is me coming from love, not bargaining and being friends, we do want that loving relationship, but also we're more than friends, aren't we? But on the other side of the scale, I would love to know your take on this, of if there's that child and they're really, 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 kind of pushing it, and they're absolutely creating a whole scene, or like there's time that's involved. Sometimes you have your pressure, and you're trying to get the child at the door, and they're literally wanting to wear this snow jacket in the heat or whatever it is, and you're gonna try and take it off, and they're screaming, and there's a whole scene. Like, so we want to think about every situation. Would you, in that situation, just thinking back to the other side of safely doing it, would you potentially kind of go with that when and obviously make sure that you have, say, the appropriate clothing or something, just to say, like, now I'm not having that conversation, I'm not allowing this because of your behavior, but okay, fine, but I want you to now see what's going to happen when you now make that choice. How would you feel about that option of, like, not obviously going out and say it's the opposite of, like, they're going to be freezing, they don't have a coat or something? What would you say about the switch of actually the child then not being rewarded for the behavior, but actually experiencing then, oh, actually, I do see now, it's not because mummy's just being mean, or, I would love your take on that, like the opposite.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. We should teach with consequences, no punishments and rewards, because they work, but you are not teaching the real thing. You are just having the behavior that you want. So get dressed, or I take away screen time for the week. Okay, he gets dressed, but you didn't teach him why. And next time that you can't take away something, he won't get dressed, because he doesn't know the real reason why he needs to get dressed. So teaching with consequences and no punishments. But then while you were talking, I could see two different situations. So one is the transition. We need to get dressed, we need to get out, we need to be at school or at church or at family. At that time, we have 5 minutes, we need to be in the car. So first of all, when you have a toddler, especially if it's a new situation, or if it's a situation that is difficult, try to give a bit more time to yourself and your child, so you are not stressing, because then the child doesn't stress because of the time. They don't have for a very long time, they don't know what time is, they They just want to be there when it's time to be there, but they don't know what it means. So for them, it's no stress. It's you stress, and then you go. So try to have a bit more time. And then the exercise is you sit on the steps with your child near you, and you say, we are sitting here, I'm keeping you safe. If I need to hold you, I hold you. I keep you safe. And when you are ready, we keep going, or we talk about it, depending if the child wants to talk about it in the moment or later. Usually later it's easier. But try to say, look, we need to get through this transition. We really need to get to the car. I can see that you were playing with your favorite toys and there is no more time. We can take the toy to the car. We can play with the toy when we get to grandma, or can I give you a juice? Helping to move. And then when you manage the transition, talk to him and say, look, this is why it was important to move. It's because we need to do it every morning. And then suggest, what can we do for next time to be easier? Shall we decide the night before which shoes you want to wear instead of the morning? What are we wearing? What are we... Another thing is when the child is in a tantrum, don't start asking, what do you want? What do you think? Because they are not able to choose in this morning. You are the one who needs to say, look, these are the shoes you need to wear. Don't change your mind 20 times, because otherwise the child gets confused. As you said, these are the shoes this morning. Wear them. Let's go to the car. I don't want to wear them. Okay, let's go to the car, and you can wear the shoes when you get off the car. Find a way around it, but you need to be the one in charge, because when they are distressed, if you start asking questions, they don't know how to answer. Making choices is difficult. You learn while you grow, but when you are distressed with your emotions, they just go, I don't know. Then you need to know. You need to be the one who knows.
Yeah.
And then yes, well, there are occasions in which, with my daughter 2 weeks ago, I told her, don't do that thing in the garden because you risk to get hurt. Don't do that thing in the garden. And she did it. She got hurt. We went to the A&E and she learned. I told her, Matilda, I told you not to do it. You did it. I'm sorry. Now you take the consequences. I really can't do anything about it now. I'm here. I'm not upset. I'm a bit worried for our holidays, because if this arm is broken, now you have a cast for 4 weeks. I'm sure you will learn from this. And I'm sure she did. I'm sure. And she told me, I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done. How I wish I didn't do it. And I told her, okay, I know you learned. And you need to let them learn. You need to lead them. As you say, it's a combination of both
It's
things.
all tailored, isn't it? It's all tailored and personalized to you, your child, the situation, the time limit, the whatever, you know. Are we walking? Are we getting the car? Is the train ticket going to go? Like, it's all, but the thing I hear is, of course, even taking yourself out of that situation, because when we think about it, even us on high alert, us on high emotion, we don't want to talk. So that's super important. So understanding when to talk, and also having the time to talk. Communication, which is all, again, it just all goes back to, doesn't it, that emotional intelligence, reading the situation and knowing when the time is right. Wow, I appreciate so much of what you're sharing, and I know even in your examples, there's so many people that are going to be listening to this: educator, parent, auntie, grandma. It doesn't matter in the sense, of course, like when you're the parent, like what you say, you have that long time always with your child as the privilege of being the parent. But all of us can learn from this. All of us can consciously parent the best we can given the situation we have. So I love that. And just quickly, just because it's just come up quickly off the top of my mind, and I know, again, we can't control others, but it's just something that I always just think about, particularly with grandmas. Let's just think about that. Not necessarily grandmas, but, you know, when they haven't seen the child and, you know, they just want to be, what would you say in in that situation of, you know, when almost it's coming a little bit off routine and is a little bit not against, but is not the way you would carry on with your parenting style and the way that you would like to do things. And I do bear in mind that, you know, this could be like 1 hour grandma and stuff, but like if say you're going away and they're there for a long period, like how would you navigate and manage that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's very important for their development that you don't leave your child with grandma for a week till they are 3. You need to be there. You are the parent. You have a human being who relies on you. For me, the priority is always. But for the first 3 years, you don't go on holiday without your child. No, you are not entitled to. You are not entitled to go on holiday without your child. You are a mother. You are a father. A child stays with you. Then, okay, 1 night, 2 nights, but not every week. No, the child is yours. It's not your mother's child, so the child is yours and needs to stay with you. Because in this way, you build a routine and you build the frame. And then when the frame is built, you can have exceptions. But if you start having exceptions before you build the frame, it's going to be a mess, because then it's the exception that become the frame, and it's really messy. Apart from the fact that you can talk also to your mother, to the grandparents, saying, look, okay, it's not that I want you to do exactly what I want, but these are my values. And these are the rules that go with my values. Not many rules, but no sugar after 6 p.m. He asks for fruit after 6, it's dinner and fruit. There's nothing else. Don't give him a sweet, don't give him fizzy drinks, because then he doesn't sleep. He's going to be unhappy, you are going to be tired, and the day after, it keeps going like this.
Yeah.
And so grandparents are precious, are very important, but they need to be the exception. They are not those who raise the children. They need to be the exception. They need to know it, and the child needs to know it. So, yes.
Yeah, that's so beautiful, and actually even more relevant than that. Obviously, I want to be conscious of your time and not use up too much of it, but this is such an important topic. And going back to potentially, newly maybe working out and navigating relationships yourself, and then a beautiful blessing of a baby coming along. What kind of advice, or how would you navigate, actually, because that's not something generally people talk about, and it will just come up and out as it's happened of, like, for example, you might have all this, but then say the father is very much the opposite of, like, no, I don't believe in that, or like, how do you help people navigate that? Because that's definitely something that and has a big impact on the relationship, I think, as well.
Yes. Well, first of all, it's important before you have a child to talk about it, because the dynamic that are in a couple then come even stronger with the child. So if one of the two is the organized one and the other one is the one that brings in a bit of spontaneity in the moments, he's going to be the one who always play and is playful, and I'm going to be the one who always sets the rules. So you need to talk about that, or about any other approach, what the values are that you want to raise your child with. And then remember that it's very important, and there is a reason why there is a mother and a father, because the child needs both. So it's not that you need to do the same things. You are a father, really, you need to be the father figure, and you are the mother, you need to be the mother figure. You need to aim to the same values.
Yeah.
But it's good that the child gets a bit of, it's different ways of doing the same thing. You have 2 examples of aiming for the best. And there are a mountain of ways you can do the same. You can aim to the same thing. Beautiful. So the father is going to do it in one way, the mother in another one. Sometimes they are going not to be exactly happy about each other, but also my husband has this thing that when we sit at the table, he wants everybody to wait to eat. I never had this, and I forget. So I go, no, wait. And I don't really understand it. And I told my daughter, look, for Dad is very important. I don't understand it. I forget it. But for him it's important. Do it for him. And we learn it. So if tomorrow we meet someone else who has the same principle, or another principle that is not hurting us, is not our principle, does it cost anything? We sit and we wait. That's how we does it. I wouldn't do it like this, but I don't see anything wrong with it. It's respect. We are respecting an idea that is not our idea, but it's not hurting me. So it's an okay idea.
Yeah, that's super important. And I think, again, it just goes back to that conscious communication of, like, for example, that beautiful example is very different to no sweets after 6 and oh, but daddy always sneaks and gives me sweets. And now we have a child that's really hyper and say, dad's gone to sleep and mum's the one now up waiting.
No,
I think it all just goes back to that conscious communication of, again, this is something important to the dad. So as long as it's in alignment, so it's not harming, and similar with our own views, we're not just pointing at one person here. We all have our own ways of doing things. As long as, again, it's just something that you can honor and respect for another, that means something to them. It's very different to, like, kind of sneakiness and something having not the greatest impact on the child, and kind of like playing off the different roles. So I really appreciate you mentioning that.
Yeah. And also when there are always moments in which try not to argue in front of your children, because it's not. But if sometimes it happens that you disagree without becoming an argument and raising your voices, it's not bad for a child to see that there are moments in a relationship that are not easy, because no relationship goes flush and you never have anything to talk about or disagree. There are going to be disagreements. You are different people. The important thing is that you have the same values and that you are aiming to the same thing. Otherwise, yes, if the paths are like this and you're going the same way, it's not going to work. But if you are aiming to the same thing and at some point there are things you don't agree and the child is there, just disagree. And then show your child that you can overcome the thing. So don't go away slamming the door. Close it as, I think we disagree. Maybe we talk about it a bit later. Is it okay? Yes, okay. And then the child goes to bed or whatever. And then in the night you talk about it. And then in the morning the family is okay.
Beautiful.
It doesn't need to be a perfect picture always, because your child won't live in a perfect picture. So it's not bad that he knows that there are no perfect pictures, but he also needs to know that you can go through moments in which things are not exactly what you would like and the communication doesn't go exactly as you want. But talk to him, explain it to him, because otherwise he's just wondering, and the children have this thing that they're taking on them, because they never think that their mother or father could be faulty, because they are everything. They depend on mother and father. We are superheroes. We are nearly gods for them. We are. So if there is something that doesn't work, it's my fault. I did something wrong. It's because I said that, because I did that, and she got upset and daddy got upset, but it's my fault. So they take it to them. So talk to them and tell them, look, okay, it started because you said I want to drink Coca-Cola tonight, and I said no, and your father said yes, but it's not your fault.
But I think that beautifully ties back to what you said right at the beginning, which is more than just the words, which are super, super important. Children are always watching. They're not silly. And again, you know, there's massive emotional effects on when we think we're doing the right thing of hiding everything, but they know that, you know, I'm asleep, but then they're not asleep. They're worrying about mummy and daddy, and then at night now their imagination's going even wilder because they can hear the whatever. But you know, we think we're doing the right thing because they're asleep, or so absolutely, again, in a safe, conscious way, just they should be experiencing all polarities, all sides of life, because that's life. Thank you so much for bringing that up.
And also this ties up with what you were saying before about sexuality. So if you let your child be around mommy and daddy who are having a shower and go and get changed, questions come, because children see, why do you look like that? Why does he look like that? Because he's a boy, he's a man, I'm a woman, you are a girl, that's how you will become. Why do you have hair? Why don't I have hair? These are questions that come up if you let them live with you. And as long as you are honest with your answers, it won't be internet to teach them. But you need to be there. If you don't want your children to learn from internet and videos, you need to be the one who lets your body show and talks about her and his body. Otherwise, they will have questions because they come with the development, and they will seek answers somewhere else because they won't feel that they can come to you to ask questions.
Yes, and this is so important, especially in the age of like Insta and filters and things like that. And even from my own experience, like I was very blessed in the sense of I very much knew what a woman's body looked like because what you said. And it's really funny, that stigma, because like when I say, yeah, we used to just speak to my mum, like it was very open, like we used to speak to your mum while she was in the bath, and it's like, even that needs to change because that's my mum. I actually came out of her body.
Yes.
And even as you said that, which shows this programming and this thought is like, then I was like, oh no, I didn't actually ever see my dad. And then there's like, again, he is still your dad, she is your mum. So why? Because we're both the same gender. And I know it, it's a big thing that we all need to work through, taboo and all this. But yeah, why is it because I'm a female, like it's okay with my mum, but then there's with my dad when yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, can you imagine how like kind of distressing sometimes it is as a female of when you are exploring and then it's like what, everything's different, like what's going on. Whereas if we just stop thinking with a more negative, wrong mind of just our beautiful bodies and just honoring them and not always seeing the perfect ones in the media and all that, of a real woman and a real man and how it actually looks. So many super important things you've mentioned. Thank you so much.
And another one, the other super important thing is that, especially because we were talking about school, the child is your child before he is the school's child. So you need to tell your child that you want to know about what goes on in school. So you need to have a rule that is every time after school, how was your day? The answer is going to be good.
Yeah.
And you need to say, no, I want to know 4 things that happened today in school. Until you tell me those. At the beginning, it's going to be difficult. I did this because they take it like, oh, I don't want to do it. I go, okay. We walk from school to home. You tell me the 4 things. If you don't, when we get home, you sit on the carpet until you tell me what you did today. We don't play anything. It's not a punishment. I love you. You are 6 hours away from me a day. You are my child. I want to know what they teach you. I'm entitled to it. And I do it because I love you. And after that, you are entitled not to agree with school. You are absolutely entitled. So in my child's school, there is the policy that if you get bullied, you go to the teacher. Yeah, okay. But our policy is, yes, okay, you go to the teacher. But if someone never hit first, because you're going to be wrong. It doesn't matter what was happening before. If you hit first, you are wrong. But if someone hits, you hit back. While the teacher says, no, you come to me. And we tell her, you don't worry. If someone hits you, you hit back. The teacher comes to us, we have your back. Don't you worry. Let the teacher come to us. You have our back. We have your back. You have our responsibility, not the school. Yeah, because you want your child you want to be the one who guides your child, not the school. Because the school system.
Yeah, I think also that again that just goes back to of sometimes as well, not necessarily always the teachers are also always respecting the way that they've got to carry out things. So it just literally goes back to, again, it's just all conscious communication of no one is, behind this one and this one, just everybody back to the relationship, back to the child, back to the professionals, everybody just meeting back in the middle, having a grown-up conversation of, again, explaining why it's not like, oh, well, your mum said this and the school's done this, and because do you know what, when they're younger, and this is one thing I did notice, and I love that you mentioned this about them speaking and just saying good and never saying, But in their role play and in their speech and in their actions, it always comes out anyway, both sides. So
Yes.
yeah, I agree with you that not from a punishing way, but again, it's just developing that routine of I'm taking an interest in your day. I've been away from you, just like you would with your partner. You wouldn't just kind of come home and then just be like generally
Good.
just not
Yes.
talking. You
Yeah.
want to know about each other's days. So
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
again just developing that healthy communication that yes, children are tired. They don't always want to. So I really appreciate you mentioning that. And again, like obviously we all have completely, again, it all goes down to the personal parenting. No one's right, no one's wrong. That's the beliefs of that person, but it's meeting in the middle and just sharing why you believe that and whatever policies or whatever, and just coming to, well, this is what I believe and this is, the other
Yes.
situation, and having that conscious conversation. Say thank you.
Yes.
If there's anything else you would like to mention before I ask you the last thing, feel free. This is your chance to just continue to shine with all your incredible, everything that you've been sharing. Really, it's been amazing.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking that what we were talking now ties with being a leader. I mean, you are the one who decides what the values are and what the way is to get there. You decide it for yourself and for your child. So
Yeah.
don't doubt yourself too much. You are the parent, and even don't doubt when there are other people around. It's very easy to think,
Yeah.
do I do what I usually do at home? Will they agree? Will they judge? Doesn't matter. You are doing the best thing for your child. That child at some point in his life will be without you. So you really
That,
need to
that's
do your
straight away.
best thing
Yeah.
now, because then when you are not there, he will need to lead himself. So you need to show him how to lead himself. And you
Mm,
don't know how much time you have, so always make the most of what you're doing, and the others around, they if you when they see your child, when you have a child that people want to be around, you know you are doing a good job. If you
yeah.
have a child who's always invited to parties and the parents are happy to have him for play dates, if you have a child, when you walk through school, it's other children calling her name.
Yeah.
Ciao, ciao, hi, hi. You know you're doing the right thing because you want someone that other people want to play with and be with. So,
Mm,
and that's what a leader is. That is a
yeah.
small leader. That's what a leader is. Someone that other people are happy to have around, not because they are aggressive and strong or inexistent, but because they have a good presence, because they can give you something and they are able to stay, to listen, play, talk. But
Absolutely.
you need to do that for them. You really need to show it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And it goes back to, doesn't it? It's not necessarily what they want. What does this little person need?
Need.
Life skills. Life skills. What in this situation actually, okay, in this particular example of this happens, so I go find someone to tell. Okay, we respect policies and stuff, but actually, in the long run, when something happens to us as an adult, is that what we do? And these are just, it's not right or wrong, but these are just things
No,
now
no,
that
yeah,
we need to be thought provoking and just
yes.
questioning that actually we are teaching these little people of when this happens, this is what you do, and essentially we're kind of just following this thing into
Yes.
adult life of is this actually the most beneficial teaching? Is this the most beneficial way of creating a leader, creating someone who is not only liked, because we don't want people pleasing either, but respected in society. So
Yes.
yeah, I 100%. I
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah.
really, really, really important to have these conversations.
And sorry, I
No?
just and as this that you are talking now is so important also when we need to understand with teenagers, for example, that there is that difficult moment in which you need to respect them more, but it doesn't mean that you need to step back more. Don't step back, because otherwise media and peers will take your place, and you don't want that. And another important thing is also with school. Okay, school says A, I say B. Mine is not the truth. I'm not God. I'm just telling you, I think this thing could be done better in this way. But you try. You experience both ways. You have two examples, and then in life you will decide. And I hope you make the best decision, but I need to be aware that my best decision could be not your best decision. You are not my copy. You are not growing where I grew. I mean, it's another planet. Generation is how fast the world is going. Where I grew, it was another planet. No one had a phone. And now, I mean, it's really, so you need to be aware of, I'm leading you, but I'm leading you in a world that I didn't grow up in. So you will make different choices. No, you are not me. But I need to teach you before you are able to make choices. I need to show you the options, and I need to lead you to make the one that I think is the best choice. Because then there are parents that say, oh, but she needs to express herself. But she doesn't know. She doesn't know. You need to tell her. And it's not that you are not letting her express herself. She doesn't know how to express herself because she doesn't know what that means. She doesn't know what that is. So you need to tell her. And it's not that telling her you block her. You are enriching her. You're giving her knowledge. And then when she's an adult, she will be able to choose, but not before. Absolutely. We don't let our children drink alcohol and drive a car, and we let them choose which sex do they want to be, because they feel every child goes through puberty, and becoming a woman is difficult and becoming a man is difficult. We all went through it, and it's difficult. But you need to have examples that show you that you can do it. It's difficult, but you can do it.
Absolutely.
And you need someone who tells you that running away from having a woman body and deciding to become a man, in most cases, is not going to work well. In most cases, it's not. It's going to be a hell of a life. Because of society, because of brain and body, and don't choose before you are able to choose. I mean, we don't let them drive, we don't let them have alcohol. Wait, then you can choose, but wait, listen first. Go slow, listen, live, experience, and then you choose. There's no rush to choose.
Absolutely. But that's exactly what I hear from you in your message, which is super important, is when there's no and there's no yes. It's okay, I hear you. I'm listening to you and how you're feeling. This is how I feel about it. However, it's your body, it's your mind, it's your decision, your choice. And that's very much different to the way that you previously said of, oh, well, she's going to do it anyway and she'll learn. There's very much a difference between it. In my opinion, it's exactly the same, but the implementation is very different. There's a difference between blindsided, going through navigating and, what have I just done? And, okay, well, do you know what? No, I'm going to do this. I know my mum said this, but that's very different. That's very different. And then, oh, I see why my mum said that now. That's very different to, because I think back, and I know I'm saying this in a very, very kind of more humor way, but I'm sure if when I was a child, if I got to identify as a superhero or a cat or something, rather than calling myself a girl, I think I would want that option. So I think, again, we need to just remember that the minds are very different, the development is very different, and that it's not, again, no, you will not be a cat or whatever is going on in the world.
No, for example,
it's just saying,
It's the context, it's the age. I mean, when they are small, if they want to go for shopping, weekly shopping with you dressed up as a cat, but why not? I'll go dressed up as a cat to the supermarket, let them meow around. They are playing, let them do it. That's the space to do it. That's for fun. It develops your imagination. But then from choosing to be a cat for 1 hour one evening because you go shopping with mommy to deciding to be cat for your life.
It's very different. It's very different. And modifying your features and I know
Yes.
we we're just being very sensitive in using the cat as an example to
Yes, it's just an example
in the world.
Yes.
But essentially we are then sometimes going down the route of modifying things that are essentially unchangeable mentally as well as physically.
Yes.
And I just think, like the world is changing, the world is evolving, and people are coming with these feelings and these views, and who are we to judge of how someone truly feels inside? But if we really
listen first,
really simplify it. Of when I wanted tattoos all over my body and my face all pierced, my mum was very open-minded, very allowing me to pretty much learn in a safe way. But I actually then, because I had that and I didn't have no with no explanation, I didn't actually do all of that, and now I don't feel like I'm that version that wants that. And this is what we're talking about here. We're not talking about not validating how people truly feel inside. Like, this makes me really, really emotional, passionate, because who are we to ever say that someone, that maybe is in a male body really doesn't feel like that, doesn't associate that.
Absolutely.
But it's a process, and it's super important that we hold the space for them, and that they are certain that it's not just a phase, and I think that's what it is. It's not a no and a judgment and who are you to now define yourself as whatever. We're all different, but just maybe the process and the way we handle these situations just should be seen a little bit differently, I think. Yeah.
And this goes with emotion regulation, because when we talk about emotion, having feeling and emotions is a great thing, while we tend to say shush, don't, no, it's nothing. They get hurt, we tell them you are okay. No, I'm not okay, I'm hurt, why do you tell me I'm okay? So you need to validate what they're feeling, because no one can tell you that what you feel is wrong. Exactly. What you feel is what you feel. I need to help you and teach you that emotions and feelings are temporary. So sit with it, I'm with you, I promise we're going to get to the other side together. And then you need to learn what to do with the emotion. But the emotions and feeling are information, and they are very important. It's very important to be able to feel and hear what goes around you. It can save your life. It really can. You need to be aware of what goes around you. But then you need to be able not to react, but to act on what you feel. Yeah. And then you also need to teach your children not to take charge of the emotions of other people, because I'm here, but I'm not solving your emotions, because that's your job. It's not that I'm not a good friend, but I'm here to keep you company and support you. But then you need to be able to deal with your emotions, because I can't do that for you, and not because I'm not a good friend. And so I think that part of the I don't know who I am, I don't know who I want to be, is because no one ever helped you to listen to who you are and who you want to be. If we give people more space to talk and feel who they are while they grow, then they get to a place where you really can choose who you want to are and who you want to be, and not from a place of I'm just running away from something. Yes. Because you can't choose who you are because you are running away from what you don't want to be, because it's not going to be the right choice, I promise. Absolutely. Running away doesn't take you in the right direction. You need to aim for where you want to be. Stop running away, look your fear in the eyes, work on it, stay present now, and then start walking ahead. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Wow, I feel like you just kind of did what I always ask my guests at the end to do anyway, but just in case there's anything else, wow, if there's something right now that you feel just off the top of your head that someone listening would really benefit from hearing, what would you tell them?
Talk to people around you. Try to have an interesting conversation like the one with Shel Marie. Try to use your friendships and your acquaintance to talk about important things. Try to watch less TV and try to think more. You want to be a critical thinker and you want your children to be critical thinkers. So thank you so much for this space, because these are the spaces that we need. We really need spaces to talk about the important bits of our life, who we are and who are we going to become, and our children with us. So thank you, Shel Marie. Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. And this is why I'm so thankful and honored that, I have incredible people like you, leaders, show up, because again, it looks like the conversation's going to be this way, and that's the beauty of not controlling the outcome and not just judging like, okay, so this person is this professional and this is the conversation and these are all. This is why this is super important, because we start with the theme, the intro, the person, and we get to the depth of actually what we really want to talk about, naturally allowing it to unfold. So thank you so much. And I know that this is, I already knew it was going to be, but such a transformational episode, and I'm really thankful to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you to you and all your viewers and spectators. Yes.